and welcome to my channel, The Sociable Savvy. I'm Savvy, a social media manager and coach. So today what we're going to go over is how to build your own content strategy. This can work for small businesses or creators. As well, I do have a worksheet for this located on my website. I'll put the link below, but all you have to do is subscribe to the email list and it will send you the worksheet, and it can make it a little easier to follow along. But I'm going to be going over all the same information that will be in this video. The first step to having a strong content strategy is defining your niche or industry. By defining your niche and industry, you are making your channel surrounded by one specific topic or type of product, service. And what this does is it allows you to gain a deeper understanding of your audience and what they're looking for. This also is great for algorithms on social media because they'll see the kind of people that follow you and then recommend your pages to other people who like that kind of content. So for example, my channels all talk about social media, and so I keep it pretty much all about social media, how-tos, I make jokes about social media, and I really hone in on that topic because those are the kinds of people I want to attract to my business page, are the kinds of people who are really interested in social media marketing. Because keep in mind, as a creator or as a business, you're not just doing social media for nothing, it's a lead generator. It brings people in who are interested, which you're eventually hoping will turn into revenue for you and your business. So the next step in building your content strategy is your content pillars. Now I hear content pillars being confused a lot with content categories, so I am going to define the two from each other. Content pillars are about 4 different topics that your content is going to dive into. So for example, on my content as a social media manager, I dive into how-tos on different platforms, so teaching people how to do things. I dive into social media strategy, terms to explain. I dive into comedy, just about social media in general, and things like that. If you're a makeup creator, let's say, or a beauty creator, you might dive into hair, makeup, skin, and maybe like body care, whether that be like dry brushing or whatever your content that you find that you know about and that you have to offer to your audience. We have your niche established and your content pillars. The next thing we're going to do is go down to your content categories. So content categories are the different types of content that you can build off each one of your pillars. So there's 4 main categories within the content categories. That is promotional, education, inspiration, and entertainment. So I also like to do a news category. Basically, it's just covers the news in the industry. Why I like this personally is it lets your followers know that you're up to date on the industry, that you stay up with everything going on, and then that they can come directly to you to get information. I think this is great for building credibility. The importance of educational content is it establishes you as a credible source. It also brings in people who are interested in learning, and as you're teaching them and as they see results, they're going to want more if that's something they're really interested in, and they're far more likely to come to you as a source of that information because they've already gotten results from the things you've created. So if they get these little testers and they see they've already gotten results, they're much more likely to come to you as a paying client rather than to go to someone else where they haven't seen results yet, especially if you make sure that your social media and your website are great lead generators to bring people right to you. For inspiration, so inspiration can be quotes, it can be motivational sayings, motivational reels or TikToks, like short video content. It also can be before and after. So what's wonderful about before and afters is not only do they serve as promotional content because you're showing what your services or goods can do, but they can be a way of inspiring people, especially if you make sure your caption and the wording and the messaging behind it is like, this person came to me with this problem and look where we've been able to take her. And make sure you make it emotional, not just their hair doesn't break out so much, but they feel more confident within themselves. Make sure that all your inspiration content goes back to motivating, affirming, validating. Your entertainment category is going to break down to is things such as memes, comedy skits, trending sounds that are funny that you can apply to your industry, behind the scenes where it's kind of a vlogging experience, as well as just comedy, little jokes and things like that. The importance of entertainment content is really that relatability, kind of blowing off some steam, relatability. They're like, oh, this girl really knows, or this guy really knows. They really get the experience. And when you hit that relatability, people are much more likely to see your brand or you as a creator as an extension of them, someone that's a friend. When they're scrolling through the feed, they'll be like, oh, what's my friend Sociable Savvy up to? Because you've established that deeper connection. The last category we're going to go over is promotional content. Now, promotional content is your services or goods, it's your social proof, and it's your testimonials. So a big mistake that people make when they're first getting into social media is pushing far too much promotional content. Now, promotional content should only take up about 20% of your overall social media strategy. The other 80% should be coming from the motivational, entertainment, and educational. And you might think, why is that? Why shouldn't I be promoting what I do more? Well, one thing, on your channel, you're always promoting what you do through those other 3 categories. And with those 3 categories, as we discussed, you are creating credibility, relatability, and inspiration. So when you do throw a line of your promotional content, it will be a service. People will be like, oh my God, this is the stuff she provides. Well, I'm interested in working with her. And you have to remember, with social media and the internet and e-commerce, there is so much competition out there. And there's probably a lot of businesses that are offering all of the same things that you are at like close to the same price points. So what sets you apart is your brand, is your persona, is the way you speak, is the way you communicate to the audience. So what you're doing is you're really setting up a pathos, logos, and ethos before you ever shoot out what your business is willing to offer. So then when you do throw the line, as I said, and reel people in, they're people who are really excited to work with you. They feel like they know you. They feel like they know your style and what you can offer. So one thing that takes up a lot of time in establishing a relationship with a potential client, because they already know you so well. And make sure you have great lead generators built in your social media, whether that be DM for more information. Your website should have contact, subscribe options, all of these things, so you can bring the audience in and hold on to them. So now we're going to dip a little bit more into the tactical side of social media strategy. So content strategy does fall under the umbrella of your social media strategy. And we're going to only dip into this briefly to allow you to see what content is working and what content is not working, so that you can have a successful social media strategy with your content. So when it comes to the success of a specific post, what you're going to want to look at is likes, comments, saves, and shares. Now, my favorite 2 things are saves and shares. One thing, because if they saved it, that means it was important enough for them to want to come back to and learn again. So that's credibility, right? It could even be comedy, but basically that they want to come back to that content again. Now, shares are the prime, right? Because that means that your follower wanted to share your content with another person and wanted to teach them something or show them a particular thing. And that's when you start getting the webbed out branches of how fast your stuff can move in social media and how you can get customers from all over the world. There's this quote in social media that like 1,000 dedicated followers can do the same amount of work as 100,000 iffy followers. The reason that we say that is because dedicated followers are going to be sharing your content, they're going to be saving your content, they're going to be sending it to, putting on a story, putting out to their friends. Basically, they're going to be moving that content around. And that's the thing. As much as you're doing it for your followers, you're hoping to find more potential clients and more potential followers through these actions of putting out a post. Now, brand awareness. So brand awareness is basically how many people are aware of your brand. There's this old saying in marketing that people need to see your brand 7 times before they'll remember it. There's now conversations going on about social media and how much content is coming that it's far more than 7 times. There's a lot of people who will like your content, save it, send it to friends, but they won't necessarily follow you. And that's because it's just so concentrated, right? People don't feel like they have the bandwidth to follow every single person anymore. And that's across all platforms. So they're more selective. So you need to keep popping up and providing value, whether that be through inspirational content, entertainment content, or educational content. So the key performance indicators, that's what we call them, or KPIs, that you want to follow for brand awareness is reach and followers. Now, website traffic. This is where, as I said before, your lead generation forms and how you capture leads needs to be prime and ready for your business. People do not like to get frustrated, and they'll move on if you don't make it as easy as possible for them. So the key performance indicators, or key KPIs to follow on this regard, are your website taps and email signups. So subscriptions, right? So now the most important part of really any business, leads and sales. So what is important to see from that is your social media conversions. So social media conversions can be like from the last thing we covered, website taps, subscriptions, that can be from content forms. It's possible someone will email you after finding you on social media and going to your website. So that's where it's really important to ask your audience or your leads, oh, how did you find out about me? And keep track of that. So whether it's word of mouth, did they find you through another website, one of your social media platforms, just anywhere they found you, make sure that you're collecting that information to see how effective your strategies are. All right, now a big question I get asked super often is, what platforms should I be on? Should I be on all of them? Should I be on one of them? Now, this is going to depend a lot on your business and what audience you are trying to attract. Now we're going to dive into each individual platform and who's there and why you'd want to be there, or maybe you wouldn't want to be there. For Facebook, you have 2.9 billion users monthly. And of those users, you have 43% female, 57% male. There's no data on any other gender, so I'm sorry I can't share that. I would if I could. This is just what's been reported. And then the average time spent on the platform is 33 minutes a day. The age range that is the largest on Facebook is 25 through 31, which makes up 31.5% of the population of users. Now let's talk about Instagram. So Instagram has 2 billion monthly users. Of those monthly users, it's about half with the female and male. Your average user spends 29 minutes on the platform a day, and the age groups that are most dominant is you have the 25 to 34 range at 31.2%, and close behind is the 18 through 24, which is at 31%. All right, so now let's talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not talked about nearly enough in social media marketing. It is an amazing B2B generator for a business. It generates leads for B2B way better than any of the other social media sites. So again, it's a half-half split between females and males. I'm sorry, there's no information on any other genders. I just pulled this data. I did not make it myself. And the huge age range on this is your 25 through 34, which make up almost 60% of the platform. So of all the monthly users, about 63% of them are accessing the platform weekly, and then about 22% are accessing the platform daily. Lastly, we're gonna cover TikTok, which I think most people are most interested in learning about. So they have 1 billion monthly users. The gender breakdown is about 60% female, 40% male. Again, that's the data that was out. There's nothing on any other genders, and I wish I could report it to you if I could. And people spend roughly 89 minutes daily on this platform. So that is 3 times the amount that we heard from Facebook or Instagram. People love being on this app. They will spend an incredibly long periods of time on this app. And that's why it's so popular and why marketing is just going wild for it. So the largest age group is 10 through 19 because it is really a Gen Z app. At 25%, but there is a ton of age ranges. You'll find every single age range present. Okay guys, so ready, set, go. The important things I want you to remember as you are going through your social media marketing is that perfection is not gonna happen all at once. That every time you post something, you're gonna get better. You're gonna learn so much through making content and through your audience. And just remember, you are posting every single week. So no, your first post is probably not gonna be a slam dunk, but every single time you post, you are gonna get so much better. You're gonna learn so much about your business, about your audience, and you are gonna be able to build a stronger business, stronger products, stronger services because of that. If you wanna stay connected with me at The Sociable Savvy, you can find me on YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. I will put all of those links down in the description. And I always have new hacks, news, tips, and some fun along the way coming out. So have a great day. Leave any questions below or anything you want to learn more about. I'm happy to cover. And yeah, so I'm excited to see all of the content strategies that you guys come up with.